morning guys, it's a Sunday, November 6, 7:15 a.m. or 18, and I'm recording the video for Friday, November 4th. Okay, so NFP today 8:30 a.m. So if there is a big move during NFP, then there is nothing left to trade during RTH. Okay, ES and NQ, the story is simple today as well, so this is the note I wrote it before NFP. Okay, based on the overnight and Thursday's price action. So we will become neutral bearish today, right? Not fully bearish. Say with the word not fully bearish. Why? Because NFP can move the market, right? If it moves it upwards, it is difficult to become fully bearish. Okay, so that's why we are open for both sides. What happens after or during NFP, price action may give us some hint. I will let you know in this spot at that time. Till then, we will stay neutral bearish. 11:02 closing, RTH low, 11:02 RTH low, 11:03 Globex high are important across the board for all the indexes, right? So if price goes above it, we have to assume some buyers are coming, So then we have to be a little bit careful about shorting above that area. Below that, sellers are there. Rest of the comments are in the chart, right? It's a simple story today. So you can see it here. Hold on. So 11:02, right? This is 11:02, low and closing area. Basically 84 to 60. That 24 area is a low to closing area, right? 11:03 Globex high was also around 95 or so. I think so. Let's see. Sorry, 87 or 84, right? So 84, 86, 87, right? So 87 to 60. Hold on. So so this area, right? So above this area, some buyers are there, right? Becoming active. Below that, sellers are there, right? So now if you look at it here, I'm going to extend it, right? Look at this. See, so price open right here at the edge, right? So now the question is, of the open, we have to assume some buyers are active because price open right around this area, right? Or we can assume sellers are there at the very top or end, right? But then if it was open here, then I would assume that it will be difficult for a price to go higher, right? Then I may short if price goes down from here. But opening up at the edge, it's like 50-50% chance somebody can short it, or price can easily go through higher. Because why? Because if you look at overnight, see here during NFP it balanced and then it broke out, right? So and open here, so it may go through it, because it's a news driven momentum or emotions are there, right? So that's why it's not a good idea to short here, right? And this is also old note here. See, I carried forward. Actually, where was the note? So forget this note for now. I think it's a different note. But that was the reason, you can't take a short even though this is a bold area, and then price has to go above 95, just extra layer to prove it that buyers are there. And then I said you can go long above 95. Below 87, 95, it's like a risky longs, right? Short you can't take it because of these things, during NFP, whatever happened. So now that's another thing also. Let me show you something else. So this is Discord, right? So this is around I think 8 or 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock I typed this. So this number 14, see that 14, 37 is this. Price did not visit that area, right? Then this is 37, 42, which is this 61, 73. I typed this area as a support just due to NFP. Okay, So we have to watch out those areas, because during NFP, after NFP, these areas can act as a support because of NFP, right? So we have to watch out, correct? So if you short here, you immediate this support there. See that aggressive support, buyers are buyers, right? So that's why you can't short it. That's another reason, right? Now you can't even go long here, aggressively, because overall we are neutral bullish, right? Bearish. So now you understand the challenge here, right? Then this is around what time did I type it? See, Discord doesn't show us a time here in the screenshot. So this is around maybe 10 o'clock or so. That's where I stopped trading, and then I typed all this thing. So here you can say price bounce from, both sides are active. Price bounce from preferred buyers area, which is this, right? It bounced from it, despite it's coming down all the way there. It bounced from it, right? So now we have to assume both sides are active. There is no point trading in this market. It's a garbage price action. Neither side is in control. See, buyers had a chance, they blew it up. Sellers had a chance here, they blew it up. And now price coming back right in the middle. This is your end of day. You can't trade anymore. You can't trust this price action, and you can see it. Even though, look, somebody tried to go long even here at 95. See that 95 was our edge, right? Look at this, how they got trapped, immediately reversed, right? And then price did not give a chance to these buyers to bail out till all the way till the end, right? So I'm sure all the day traders will be bailed out with loss. They're not gonna hold it, right? But this is a manipulated price, right? And then after that you can see it, end of the day they ran it up. So whoever got stuck holding, the bigger players, right? Some bigger players, they got exit here, so on purpose they ran it up, so this is all manipulated price action, right? So now here, now you understand, right? But however, price came straight down to this 42 preferred buyers area, right? So even before that, here it got a rejection, but there is no way to know this is a valid rejection or some kind of pullback, because now we have to focus on the recent price action, right? Most recent, which is this. So that they're stepping up slowly. NFP 61 acted as a resistance, then price went up to 73, right? Then it sliced through it, right? And it is holding into here, and now of the open you see this, right? So this is all buying activities, right? And then price came straight down to this area, right, where it struggled here, and which was also yesterday's high, right? So it makes sense to even go long here. NQ was also coming down here in the dream number and all this area, right? That's why it makes sense to go long. And then you can see internals, they were tanking, but look at momentum. See, at that time momentum was right here. So it was above zero line, holding it. ED was well positive, 1300 plus, so that's why it can touch here and go higher too, right? So but at this time, I knew price got a rejection from this pink line, right? So if you look at in my Discord screenshot here, where is it? NQ's pink line is a higher time frame resistance. NES 80C 87, 83 and 95 actually, so here we know that it is coming from the higher time frame R, right? But look at the pressure here. See, if price came straight up there, no issue, but it spent enough time during NFP here, then it came up, then it spent enough time here, then it came up, right? So shorts make sense here in a way based on the higher time frame with a larger stop. But with intraday, you can't short it. You have to see whether these larger time frame sellers are really want to push it down or go down, or they just responded it because it's a higher time frame and somebody will buy it here. So that's why it makes sense to go long here. But you have to manage it, because now the larger time frame responded. Ideally, it should have held it right here, yesterday's high, but it sliced through it. There's some risk there to go long, right? So you have to manage it. It was a dream number also, right? And it's like confluence area. See, this is also confluence area, right? So ideally I wouldn't prefer, even though I said, right, NQ no longs below 11,050 to 920, you know. So actually NQ was trading below it, but due to NFP intraday we can get some bounces, you know, back to maybe here or something, and that's why you take this long. So it did not work out, right? You have to manage it. Here also same thing. Then price slice through it. So at this point you know sellers are active, this higher time frame, right? And now it came straight down to this area, backup buyers area, pretty much. See that here, right? And then ES also came to preferred buyers area, first time in RTH, right? So now the question is it going to fill this gap, or is going to bounce from this 42 since it's listed as a preferred buyers area? That's the question, right? So at that time, now you look at internals, they were still holding plus 1200, momentum is still above zero line, NQ is at the backup buyer lines, right? So at least some buyers will defend back NQ is a backup buyers again. So at least some buyers will back it up, at least back to preferred buyers area or this dream number, or maybe VWAP. Because now you know price went up and down, so both sides are active. So both sides will try to defend the edges, right? And this is what the edge was. And this is also, see, NFP move started from this 37 actually, right? It poked below it all the way down to where? Our 14 area, right? So we know 14 defended it, 37 defended it on the way down this area, you know. It may hold back to at least this area. You know? So that's why, and internals were not super negative. So you can try long ahead of it, or you can wait for a gap fill to see whether there is a bullish disconnect there still, then you can try. But then in that case you can only target 42 because the preferred buyers area can act as a resistance, right? So here individual trader has to decide, right, whether NQ could have gone to maybe this low also, who knows, right? So it's a kind of a gray trade, but just because of this upward move and the way it exhausted here, it makes sense to go long here, you know. But you can't blindly go long here. Yes, you can. NQ you cannot, because NQ moves faster, right? So NQ can technically in the same candle comes down here 697, touch it, and then bounce back up and close here, you know. So NQ you can't go blindly long here. ES you have no choice because ES doesn't move like NQ. When ES holds it, it holds it, you know. So ES you have to go long here. NQ you have to wait, you know. So I did not go long at 725. I went long at 740. And I told you guys also in Discord, right? See here, for that 70 long which I built out earlier. So this is a later on message that I put it there. So I built out right here, you know, at dream number or VWAP. You know? And then I stopped trading because the day is screwed now. I know, because it should not have bounced that much anyway, if the sellers are good, right? But it since bounced halfway there, you know, into dream number, most likely, you know, it may go higher or ping pong here or so and so. So that was the trade, you know. So I lost, so I did not trade at ES, you know. I traded only NQ because I know the price was the way it came down from the higher time from resistance, and from 87 some sellers will be there. So I don't want to risk it going long both the environment. So I only traded NQ because NQ may bounce, you know, give us maybe a few points for Friday. So here I lost 5 points. At VWAP also I went long, you know, this dream number I went long. Yes, this 793 also I went long at VWAP and lost 10 points there. So 15 points lost so far. Still I went long here. I targeted this. In this last trade I got 70 some point, you know, and then minus 15. So net, you know, I was 55 point up. That's where I closed the trading, you know, for the day. But you can see it, NQ has a lot of confluence area here. That's why this thing is acting like this, you know, and NQ knows it. So NQ players are knows these things, that once NQ goes below this, right, so this is a poke below, first sign, right. So most likely, you know, it may go down on Monday or Tuesday. If it holds below 11,050 or so, there is a possibility it may go down, eventually break. Only problem is Dow and Russell. Those two guys are holding it very well for buyers. So now the question is, either Dow and Russell has to break down for this sellers to go down, or they will carry forward these two indexes upwards, you know. So that's the story for next week. And that be all for today. This is what the run up happens in the overnight, so that's how they do it. This is the third Friday in a row, they always, this is the third Friday they run it up at the closing. Entire day they keep it down. Third Friday they and at the end of the Friday evening they run it up. This is an ongoing pattern. So just keep that in mind. That be all.